Budgets are gold or bankruptcy fold. I am, as always, your host, Christopher Paul Dugdale, MEDMA. We are Duncanville High School in these United States. And today is May 17th, 2021. And on this date in history, 2 years ago, yesterday, my nephew Cohen was born. And what do we say to little babies that are two?
Kill him.
Happy birthday to you. Everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cohen. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Hopefully many more. So, it's important to recognize the incredible value of school. So, for one thing, people that have a college degree will earn about $1 million more than people that don't. Two, most of the people that drop out of school actually have a GPA high enough that they'd be able to graduate. Okay? The more you can do in the beginning, the better it'll help you out. Now, this is no guarantee that you won't have financial troubles in the future, but this is one of those things where it can help you. Okay? So, also, a lot of places like to hire people with degrees because one thing it does show is, one, you're able to, stick with something for a period of time. 4 years is kind of a lot, especially for someone under the age of 25. So being able to finish that shows that you can finish something, but it also shows the first 2 years, the entire reason, all that they're trying to do is get rid of anyone who's not serious about college. So they have you take classes that you're probably not an expert in, whether it's English, whether it is psychology, mathematics, history, science, foreign language, any of those, to be able to make it through that so you can get to the actual things you study to get your degree, that does show that you're a very trainable person. So, just something to keep in mind. So, where you make money from, try and get a job, okay? Try and find something that you have some type of background in, okay? Don't just try and go after the most money. Money is important, but you also want to make sure you're not trapped in something that keeps you in a job that you despise, because you will spend half of your life while you're awake working. So until you retire, half your time is that you have is awake. So basically, when you think about it, it's 8 hours at the office. You have 30 minutes to an hour for lunch, and you're still at lunch even during that time period. And, as you're waking up, getting ready and going there, and if you have, your parents generally when they get home, they need a few minutes to unwind before they're ready to do something. So each day during the work week, you're spending more than half the time that you're awake at work, decompressing from work, getting ready to work for work, and going to and from work. So all of those things do go together. But you also want to be careful when you're making money and going to college that your job doesn't become your priority if you want to get a college degree. Because generally you have to make a decision, and the people that own the business you're working for aren't worried about your long-term plans. What they're trying to do is make sure that they're paying their bills for that moment. Also, you want to be careful that you don't put yourself in a position that working makes you drop classes, because you still have to pay for every class that you drop. Okay, so where can you get money? Okay, so number one, you have grants. Okay, so it's money that you don't have to pay back. You have to have a financial need for it. So if your parents make a lot of money, then you're not going to qualify for many grants as a result of that. Okay, this is not based on academic requirements or your GPA though. Okay, so this is why everyone should fill out their FAFSA forms, preferably around September or October the year before you graduate. Okay, so at the beginning of your senior year. There are scholarships. This is money that is not paid back, and you can get this based on uh, the grades you have in school, something special that you can do, a talent or skill, religious affiliation, group membership, and there might even be some scholarships based on race. There's a Negro College Fund, and then there's also several scholarships for Native Americans to go to college. And many Native Americans, based on which state their tribe is housed in, have scholarships to colleges in certain states. You also have student loans, and this is the most common way of paying for school. And you pay back your tuition with interest after you graduate. The loan payments or the interest payments are tax deductible, but they those are things you have to pay within 6 months of graduation. Okay, and normally people don't just roll in their tuition to it. They also will pay for their housing, textbooks, and other things that they need along the way. So it's not hard to rack up $100, $120, $140,000 in student loans that you'll have to pay back, and that's about the price of a house payment for 20 years. Ways to save. Well, one, you can cut back on some of the spending that you have. Two, cheaper housing. Three, additional roommates. I actually went to college with 5 guys who lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. 2 of the guys shared rooms, and one of the guys lived in the dining room with sheets up to make walls for him. So, again, there's options for you depending on what you want to take. Okay, if you can use public transportation instead of having a car, clip coupons, shop at discount stores, cook your meals. But most importantly, if you don't have it, don't spend it. Where do you put your money? Well, you can put money into checking accounts that get you access to your money, and several different banking institutions have checking accounts just for college students that they don't charge interest to. They do this because they want to get your business once you graduate. Okay. Also, you have savings accounts, but there's a limited amount of time you can access those a month. And it's the same thing with money market accounts that are also savings accounts. And really, the difference between a money market account and a savings account now, interest-wise, is not really worth going into. So the truth is, you're not going to make a lot of money by putting your money into a savings account. Getting and staying out of financial trouble. Okay, protect your financial information. Don't give out your social security number, even the last 4 digits. Don't put information like your mother's maiden name on online forums. Sometimes they'll have little questionnaires that people put out to try and commit fraud, where it's one of those chain emails where it's like, what's your mother's maiden name, where do you live, what's your address, what was your teacher. But those type of things kind of all go hand in hand with that. Okay, don't even give out the last 4 digits of your credit card. Of your social security number. If you get a credit card offer, make sure that you destroy it, shred it. Okay. If you have something that's not right on your credit report or on your credit card statement, fight against it immediately. But pull up your annual credit report regularly. Now we will speak more about. We'll talk more about credit reports another day this week. Investing for the future. Okay, so at some point, everyone needs to put a little bit of money away for retirement. Hopefully, everyone lives long enough to be able to enjoy that. If not, you make sure that you provide some form of security for your family. Okay? Now, depending on where you work, you could be lucky and work for a company with a 401k plan that also has a matching plan. And what they do with some corporations, you put in 3% of your salary, and the company will match it, and you get to invest that money however you want, but you can't touch it until you're at least 62 and a half. And there's a few penalties for withdrawing it that early. Okay. You also have something called a Roth IRA. This is another investment program that they have that is not affiliated with your workplace that anyone can use, and you can invest one of two ways. You can either do it before taxes or you can do it after taxes. Now, if you do it before taxes, what it does is it lowers your taxable income. So you're going to pay less in taxes every year. The problem is when you take it out, you will be paying taxes on it at that point. Or you can put into an IRA that almost said ERA. It's not baseball. An IRA that is post tax, and then the only thing you have to pay interest on or pay taxes on then is the interest that you earn over the years that you invest. So, personal budgets. So, why on earth should you do a budget? Okay, well, part of it is without a budget, you may not ever have money to pay your bills, and you may run out of money right away every month. Okay, what this can do is this can identify and define your financial goals. It can manage your money, direct the way that your money goes, increase savings, and stop from wasting money and getting to what your personal goals are. Okay, so all these things can come as part of a budget. So this would be if you want to go on a vacation, later on this year, you start saving money up now so you have the money to do that once you get there. Also, you might use your time a little bit more wisely when you're thinking, oh, I don't want to go into work today, I'm just going to take the day off. If you do that too many times, you won't have the days to take for your vacation as well, or if you want to buy a house. Little small purchases all the time can actually be just as damaging as big ticket items, and you have nothing to show for it. So $15 today on some food, $15 on a shirt you weren't really going to wear but just bought because you were bored. All those things can add up, and before you know it, you can spend $500-$600 with little purchases that you didn't have to make at that time. Okay, so what's in a budget? So income. Okay, so this is any money that you've earned from either your business or from little side jobs that you have around the area, whether it's mowing lawns. Any of that goes into your income. Okay, now your expenses. This is anything that you spend in any way whatsoever. Anything you have planned to buy or anything that you didn't know you had to buy. If your car breaks down and you need a new transmission, that's something you probably haven't budgeted for, although it's best if you put away a little bit of money each month to make sure that if you have a major problem with one of your vehicles like that you can get it fixed. Or if you don't use it for that, you can always use it for the next car. So it just gives you a little something so that if you need to buy a new car or fix something, that you're not completely in trouble. Practical budgeting. You need to set some goals for yourself. You have long-term goals, so 1 to 5 years from now or even 10 years from now, and short-term goals. So, do you want to buy a new car? What does that look like? How much is it? Some basic information like that versus, buying a house and some other things. Okay. You need to estimate your income. How much money do you make this year? Do you think you'll be making about the same amount next year? So you want to be careful how much you put yourself in line to build. For instance, if you're in sales and you get most of your money off of that and you're having a really great year this year, but every other year you've had has been pretty bad, you probably want to find some type of balance between, other years before and, the year that you're in. Okay? So, record what you spend. Find out where you're spending all your money. Okay? You might think, wow, why am I spending so much on that? Normally that falls under the food category where you think, I'm tired and I don't want to do that, but it doesn't take long to turn that into, $1,200 to $1,500 in meals just because you're tired and you don't want to cook. Okay? Budget for actual expenses and unexpected expenses. Okay, so if you have a car, you're gonna need car insurance. Okay, you're gonna need gas. You're gonna need to change the oil probably every month or 2 months, depending on how much you drive. Maybe every 3 months. Uh, so you need to budget for that. But then also, what happens if you blow out a tire? Okay, what happens if the starter gets broken? Okay, what happens if the air conditioner goes out in your house? If you're in an apartment, that means the apartment will fix it. But if not, that's something on you. Okay, in one of the apartments I lived in, the air conditioner went out, and we could turn it on high, and it gave us a $600 electric bill to keep the temperature at about 90 degrees in the summer. So, you just need to be ready for anything like that. And some things will still catch you by surprise, but that'll help prevent some of that. Okay, figure out how soon you want to get certain things done, and then you have to budget accordingly to be able to do that. But the budget has to be balanced. Okay, if it's not balanced and you have some money that's left over, that's a good thing. But if it's on the other side, then you're going to cause yourself problems for years. And you have to evaluate it and review it monthly. If not, again, it's not hard for all of your money to disappear and you just wonder what happened. Budget for actual and variable expenses. Okay, actual expenses. These are fixed expenses, like your car payment. It's the same amount every month. Okay, gas is about the same every month. Your house, your house or apartment, your rent will stay the same just about every month. If it changes, that's something that you can, decide to move out, or depending on why it changes, if your property taxes go up, that's something you can dispute with the city. Okay, insurance, health, medical, life, auto, home. If you're getting an apartment, you probably want to have renter's insurance. That's going to cost you about $20 a month. But if, let's say, a freeze happens, like happened in 2021, that you want to make sure that if a pipe bursts and floods all your furniture and destroys it, that you don't have nothing. If a fire burns down your apartment that you're in, then, or the house you're renting, then you have nothing if you don't have some type of renter's insurance. Okay, household utilities, your electric, your water, your cell phone, your cable and internet. Those are all things that are fixed or actual expenses. Clothing and entertainment. Don't say, well, I'm just never going to go out and go do anything. Because the truth is, as much as you might want to say that, it won't take long for that to become a very large bill. Then you have variable expenses, based on grocery bills. Oh, my sister was in town last month, so we ate a lot more food, or the car broke down, So you just got to be careful with things like that. Make sure you factor that in. Make sure you budget actual and unexpected. And again, I've talked about the emergency fund several times. Put 20, put 30, however much you can into an account, so that if something happens with your car or something happens to you, you want to make sure that you don't lose everything. Okay. Eventually, it'd be great to have a 3 to 6 months worth of income saved. Okay, this can eventually turn into a house down payment, or this could be a car, or this could be a vacation. There's a bunch of things you can use for this, but you want to make sure you have something in place, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay, anyone who lived through the pandemic of 2020 would know that you can't always tell what's going to happen. Okay, but try not to use your emergency fund unless you have an actual emergency. So, hey, thank you for another great day. I hope you all had a great day. Be safe. Don't cocaine. Don't AIDS. And don't COVID. Even if you think that you're fine. If you see someone COVIDing out, go up to them and go, hey, give me full-blown COVID like you. And then you take the vials of COVID and you pour it in your eyes and in your mouth, and then inject it into your directly into your spleen, which would be very difficult to do. Don't do that. Okay, I'm your teacher. I will write you up if you do it. So please don't. Okay, So this is Doug Dell, and I'll see you on the other side.